Hi, I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl. Thanks for choosing to watch this clip from our Small Town Big Deal YouTube channel.
For full episodes, go to our website, smalltownbigdeal.com.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel to find all kinds of great clips.
Now enjoy the video.
In Texas, Route 66 takes us 189 miles straight across the Panhandle, where some tenacious towns have survived and others are hoping for a comeback.
Moving east, we stop at a ghost town, but one that has a new spirit of rejuvenation. Jericho started as a stagecoach stop, and then the railroad came through, followed by Route 66.
But when it rains, some of their unpaved sections of the route turn to a nearly impassable muddy mess. The locals made money by pulling travelers out. Rumor has it that some locals watered down the road to increase their business.
All that remains are a few broken down buildings and a partially paved country road. But an amazing couple with ties to the area has decided to bring Jericho back to life.
We wanted a place where we could settle and where we could build and raise our families. Now we get to have something bigger than what we ever thought that we could share for not just with our families, but for generations to come.
Now they own 72 acres of the old township, but there's a lot of work to be done.
Get it cleaned up, get it safe to walk around, so people will want to come by here and get a little piece of history, see what stuff used to look like back in 1926.
You know, you have to have a lot of passion to succeed at anything. And I think Blair and Blanca have just that.
The last family to live here in what would have been Jericho was in 1974.
It's our job and responsibility to continue to love the property, share with the world. This is something definitely that's a field of dreams for us.
From the efforts to reconstruct Jericho to a water tower that looks like it's on its last leg, Texas is a state filled with grit and gumption.
In the early 1980s, when Ralph Britton wanted to attract motorists to his truck stop in Groom, Texas, he came up with a cockeyed idea. After buying an old water tower, he intentionally installed it at a curious 10-degree tilt to make people want to stop. It worked and helped him gain many customers.
Unfortunately, a fire caused the truck stop to close about 5 years later. But to this day, the Britton Leaning Tire of Texas is still standing. Sort of.
Another testament to the slightly off-balance brilliance of quirky marketing is just a little further down the road. That's where you'll find 5 Volkswagen Beetles planted nose down into the ground.
Bug Ranch in Conway, Texas was created in 2002 as a parody of Cadillac Ranch, a more well-known and popular Route 66 attraction. The buried bugs were an effort to attract people to the few remaining businesses still open even after I-40 replaced Route 66 and moved traffic more than a mile away. Now, just a few miles west of Conway, we hit Amarillo and see a 60-foot tall cowboy and a huge bull welcoming us to the big Texan Steakhouse and its cowboy motel where we stayed the night.
Since 1960, the steaks and down-home hospitality has been the big draw. And get this, if you can eat one of their 72-ounce steaks and all the fixins, you get it for free.
Who came up with the idea of the 72-ounce steak?
All that credit goes back to my great parents that started this place. My dad and mom were fascinated by how these cowboys would come in, and these guys would sit there and eat a huge amount of food. It would draw the crowds around. My dad, being the tourism genius he was, he asked them one time if they all wanted to kick in $5, and whoever could eat the most in a 1-hour time period would get the money in the hat.
And the legend was born.
That's exactly right.
How many people who try succeed?
It's about 1 out of 10.
1, eat.
What the funny part is, it's women that will compete. 1 out of 2 will finish it. The record holder is a woman, and she finished 2 in 1 sitting. Then she turned around and bet us $5,000 that she could do 3 of them in under an hour. We lost $5,000.
Are you kidding me?
Let's go get some steak, all right?
Let's get some steak, all right.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
We got a couple folks up here that are interested in trying to talk us out of a 72-ounce steak.
They have 1 hour to eat 4.5 pounds of steak.
Let me make it clear, it's not just the steak. You have to eat like the salad and a shrimp cocktail and 2 sides. I think my sides are gonna be Pepto and Bismol.
Wow. Okay, I like steak, but 72 ounces?
Now, you guys only have an hour, so if you might want to consider getting going on this at all.
Danny, could we have 6 plates?
Oh, no, this is just for you. He's already...
I'm getting out my wallet. The crew is gonna have steak for the week.
Yep, the only way we're going to be able to tackle 144 ounces of steak is to share it with the Small Town Big Deal crew. Not too far away is Cadillac Ranch, the famous stop on Route 66 you might already know about. Here you can spray paint your own art, signature, love note, anything you want on 10 Cadillacs buried nose down all in a row.
What you might not know is a very creative artist is creating something very unique with all these layers of painted fun when they start chipping and falling off.
What first inspired you about Route 66?
In 1996, we rode from Chicago to Santa Monica with Harley Owners Group, and Michael Wallace, the famous author from Tulsa, who's the voice of the sheriff in the movie Cars, was our tour guide, and we've been hooked ever since. The feeling of freedom of the open road, Americana, nostalgia, romance, that's what 66 is about.
This is just layers of paint.
Raw chunk of paint. Over 1 million people a year spray paint graffiti on those cars, and it gets 8, 10, 12 inches thick.
And then it just falls off.
People climb around on those cars and knock off chunks.
Is that from the paint?
Oh yeah.
That is it? Look at that. Where did you get the idea to turn it into jewelry?
Well, about 9 years ago, my wife and I were out with her grandkids, Cadillac Ranch, and I found these pieces laying around on the ground. I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this stuff, but I'm gonna create something with it. So what I do is I just grind this down until it gets like this.
Smooth.
Smooth.
Look at that.
After Bob gets them into the shapes he wants, he glues them into silver settings, another step he let us try. Then they soon become wearable art.
Oh, these are beautiful. It's so seldom that you see something that you have never seen before. And this is something I have never seen before.
Well, I'm glad.
And while we're on the subject of never before seen things, Bob agreed to take us to see those now famous Cadillacs sticking up out of the ground in the middle of a field.
Well, Stanley Marsh III commissioned the Ant Farm, which was a group of artists out of San Francisco, to do this in 1972. Took them 2 years to complete the project. Some people hate it, some people love it. It's a piece of sculpture, but 1.3 million people a year can't be wrong.
You know, I'm thinking about opening a paint store across the road.
Not a bad idea.
Look at that. Look at the layers of paint right here. Wow.
So we walked around those 10 half-buried Cadillacs and found people from all over the place.
It's a beautiful road. It's very, very fantastic.
The wind's blowing pretty good.
And then finally did our own graffiti on the front car on a very windy Texas day.
Oh my gosh, the wind.
Getting blue on my red.
Oh, I am. I'm so sorry. And now I can't see. Can you move my hair? No, don't move my head. Woohoo!
Thanks for watching this clip from Small Town Big Deal. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and be sure to click the bell so you'll be notified when we upload new videos. Also, click the like button. To see full episodes, go to www.smalltownbigdeal.com.